Hey, hello everyone. Welcome one and all to the Wandering Society. I am Wandering DM. Welcome to our game of Oh my god, the cameras are wrong.
I play that game a lot.
Because I had to yeah, okay. Let me just shift people around.
The
All
bane of
right.
production.
Ciao, Raymond. Nope. Things not nope. People not in the right place. Raymond
Ooh.
Knudsen. Maya, I'm there. Anino is now Marceline for some reason.
I
All
get to
right,
be
everyone's in
Maya,
their
so
place.
I
Hey,
win.
hello. All right, musical cams are done. I am Simon. Thank you everyone for showing up tonight for part two of our investigation, our case that we started a couple of weeks ago. But before we get into the game itself, I just want to shout out our sponsors very quickly because, as we talked about offline, I keep promising a video and it was almost done, and then I realized that the green screen messed up and I have to start over again from scratch. So, in the meantime, thank you to all of our sponsors, beginning with, of course, Magen Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. You can check them out at store.magenpress.com, and if you use code WanderingDM, you get 10% off your... No, that's not the command. Oh my god, oh my god. You get 15% off all of your purchases. Which includes their sci-fi fantasy setting, Dark Matter, which we've played extensively here on the Wandering Society. Our other sponsor, of course, as always, Found Familiar, great coffee company. Grab yours today at foundfamiliar.com, and why not use code WanderingDM to get 10% off your purchases? It's almost like using my code everywhere will get you stuff for cheap. Then our other sponsor, of course, as always, is Artalsorian Games. You can check them out at artalsoriangames.com, which apparently did not proc. But if you're interested in Cyberpunk, Witcher that we've played here, Castle Falkenstein that we've also played here, or Mechton that Praxagorath Thesmophoria Deirdre has been playing on her channel, or Teenagers from Outer Space, which you can watch the VODs over on Laugh Love Lindy's if you're into anime shenanigans. And last but not least, our affiliates, no, that's not true, Roll20, that platform that we are currently playing our game on. You can check them out, roll20.net. They even got the new dark mode, which I love because I'm no longer blinded by my favorite website. And then, of course, Die Hard Dice, which you should all check out. The code is wrong in the thing, but I don't want to spoil anything, so if you really cannot wait until next week to get your dice, DM me. I will send you the code in private because it'll spoil everything that I've been working on. But they have some gorgeous dice that just came out, and I believe the one that we are showcasing of this month, very good, is the Alessia Blood Fire. Which I have looked at. I've contemplated buying it several times, but you should definitely take a look at it if you're into, you know, Infernal or Tiefling Warlock, maybe that kind of thing, or just Blood, which my life apparently revolves around these days. That said, before we jump into our intro in our game, let's just go around the table and introduce the cast for this game. We'll start with the person to my left on the overlay. We're going to go around counterclockwise. We'll begin with Hannah. Hello.
Hello, I am Hannah. You can find me at Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios everywhere else. My pronouns are she, her, and in this game I play Marceline Olsen. She is a soap opera actress, also uses she, her.
And up next, we have Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Chow Tong Veng, the agribusiness entrepreneur, and nothing else.
And up next, we have our GM, Alyssa.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alyssa. You can find me on the internet
at Shoal Tales, and I play everybody else.
I see that.
Oh,
I see
dear.
that once again. There's audio.
We are having audio difficulties.
Well,
Shall
Jim,
we
I guess
conti-
it's your turn to vamp.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Jim. I am other doc in chat for folks who when I dive in there. I go by he/him pronouns, and my character I'm playing, who also goes by he/him pronouns, is Raymond Knudsen, the world's nicest supernatural troubleshooter. Nice to a fault, and just happens to be good at hunting monsters, and that is he.
I think that leads me next. Hi, my name is Leona. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. I use she/her pronouns, as does my character, Maya, who is our millennial side hustling cartomancer extraordinaire, who pulls cards, is a dork, loves being weird, and doesn't know what she's doing hanging out with these nerds, but it's alright.
Awesome.
Pretty sure you're the nerdiest of.
I am, but you're also a nerd. Nerd. She's still mad at you. I haven't forgiven you for last time for you know the Grubhub comment. It has not been forgotten.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
good.
can.
All right. Thank you all for these introductions. We're going to go on to the intro video, and then we're going to jump into the game. See you in a few seconds.
When the sun starts growing colder and the dark starts getting bold, you don't know what the cards are holding and you think you ought to fold. I got faith to spare, changes in the air. Embrace it if you dare, transform your destiny. You've been down on your luck, oh, but I'm not giving up. Sometimes just enough is all you need. When the sky flashes a warning of the struggles to be born, you gotta hold out till the morning, so you turn to face the storm. Let the shadows fall, let the sirens call. Troubles roll away into my soul gaze. I won't look away, I'm listening. I got faith to spare, changes in the air. Embrace it if you dare, transform your destiny. You've been down on your luck, but I'm not giving up. Sometimes just enough is all you need. Sometimes just enough is all you need.
It's done.
Hey, we're back. Had to make sure the timing was okay, but thank you so much to Alyssa for everything that she's done, because it is her voice and her musical talent that you hear in this intro video, as well as her drawings of our characters. So thank you so much, Alyssa. And it is one of the Easter eggs that I've put in the video, is that your rep sheet, your criminal record sheet, actually has like a bunch of thanks from me.
Oh,
But yeah.
Thank you. And
So
also thanks to Jade Nebula for the other character artwork.
oh yes, that's true. I forgot to mention. Oh no, I'll have to update it.
you can do it. It's okay. You can update it.
Yeah.
You get this. But it's so good. All right. So now that we are all hyped, previously on Spare Change, after returning from the Never Never, the party was invited to a farm southeast of the Twin Cities where Marceline's action hero boyfriend Bjorn Langbard was filming a cheesy monster movie called Werewolves of New London. Upon their arrival, Bjorn admitted that strange things had been happening around the set during the week of the full moon, and one of his co-stars has apparently been bitten by an animal. Mr. and Mrs. Fang, the Hmong couple who currently own the farm, said there have also been some rowdy neighbors drinking beer and shooting off fireworks nearby, and they were concerned that the noise would disturb their reclusive former landlord, who lives in an old farmhouse down the road. Well, Chow stepped outside to investigate in moose form. Like a perfectly normal human being. The rest of the party began questioning Bjorn about the attack on his co-star and the plot of the movie, which Bjorn eventually admitted to having written himself. He also confessed to having some concerns about running into some former rivals from his hockey days. And considering the unusual behavior of the wolf that had attacked his co-star Kat Chanhassen, the party began to suspect that they were dealing with some kind of rogue werewolf. Maya consulted her cards and drew the Seven of Pentacles, harking back to the break-in at Astrid's curiosity shop when Maya had drawn the exact same card. Further reading suggested that there was a group of 7 potential suspects with a powerful female spellcaster behind the scenes, and that she may have an apprentice that the party has yet to encounter. The party decided to arrange a meeting with Bjorn's old rivals and sent a message to Ray to meet up with them as soon as he could extricate himself from his mountain of paperwork. So that's where we pick up. So, Bjorn, sure. Yeah, Bjorn's with you. He's sending some messages to some people, trying to set things up. Chow sent a message to Ray, so we're just waiting to hear back. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Uh-huh. Like preteen and teenage guys. No, that's what they were like. What are they like now? Most of them are dads now, I think. I wouldn't be surprised. I guess Patrick. Oh.
Oh no. Yeah. I don't really know what else we've got to go on, so. Yeah, where's Raymond? Where's Raymond?
All right. So, Mr. Knudsen, as you are taking care of all the paperwork you've had to catch up on after 2 months absent in the Never Never, that felt like 10 minutes, half an hour. You receive a text message from Chow asking you to come out to New London to investigate a thing.
All right. Were there any details in the text, or was it just basically come to New London to investigate a thing?
There were emojis with like a sword and a gun, maybe.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like
Probably an address.
okay. Yeah. Well, apparently they need something. So if I'm able to break away, then I'll go ahead and head over there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I figure you've had a week or so to catch up with everything.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's good. Were they terribly upset, or did they? I think I told them the Never Never was happening, so I don't know if
you
they
did. You were messaging back and forth with folks before you crossed over, so they are aware of what can happen when you step into that realm. So I don't think you're in too much trouble. They perhaps had to call in a backup troubleshooter while you were gone.
I was trying to protect people who were interfering with something that our founder was participating in. So I certainly hope.
Yes, no, you're fine. You're not in trouble. You just, there's some briefs that you have to read up on, and I'm sure Iris was keeping an eye on things while you were away. It's what she does.
Thank goodness for Iris. All right, yeah, no, definitely. Just head out to the address. I'll just
okay.
Like, I have no idea what this is going to be.
Yes. Chow's geotag takes you about an hour and a half southeast of Minneapolis to a small town, kind of rural, called New London. And there's a farm where there's a film crew, and they're all kind of hanging out at the farmhouse.
Yes, all of the other party members are by the farmhouse. Right. Cool. Yeah, just kind of pull up, assuming parking is possible.
Yes.
And just come out, and I'd be like, no, I don't, and I would just sort of step out of the car, talking to my pocket, or just sort of like into my pocket. I'm not sure if the tomatoes are in season yet, so I don't know if they would, and they might they might frown on that a little bit. So maybe best to we check it out first and see if they have samples before we do. Hello.
Hooray! Finally.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I had rather a lot of work to catch up on. Unfortunately, there were a lot of briefs I had to read over.
I do not blame you one bit. I'm so behind on my papers. Don't even worry about it.
What have we got?
Werewolves, it seems.
Oh,
Maybe. I don't know. Like Teen Wolf situation.
Yeah. Do we
I
know
don't
which
know.
kind?
Not the kind that not the kind where it's once a month bitey.
Okay. Well, that's at least it's manageable, somewhat.
Yes. As a recap, there was a discussion last time about the fact that there are at least 3 different types of werewolves in the Dresden verse. The kind that's basically a wizard or druid who knows one spell, and that's wild shape. And the kind that uses a magical artifact to help them transform, or the kind where you get cursed and you and your family have to transform during the full moon and you really can't control it. Also, occasionally other people can turn you into a werewolf, but that's generally frowned on by the White Council of Wizards. So we're still trying to narrow it down.
Well, I will have to say, I'm afraid I'm not rated to always have silver weaponry upon me, as I'd have to requisition it first. So alas, I did not know. So I haven't.
It's fine. I don't think we're going to be shooting a werewolf right now. I think we're okay. I mean, like, not right away. Like right we away. need to figure out a plan before we attempt to do anything. And that's all. That's all I'm saying. We need to narrow things down first. We got nothing. We got like what are our leads right now? Where are we going? Yeah, Patrick's house. But other than that, like I don't know about any other leads. And to be clear, Marceline, not saying anyone's gonna shoot anyone. We're definitely not shooting your boyfriend. Just want to be super clear. I did not mean to insinuate anything like that. Just to be super clear. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to lay out the caffeine a little bit.
Fine.
Oh no worries. I always try to warn people before I shoot them.
This is true. This is true.
But it's really very, it's more of a last resort, really. All right.
Remember, I was going to go check on the landlord's or the land baron's house. figured Ray would accompany me in that.
All right.
Yeah, split the party. What could possibly go wrong?
Could be a hockey dad. Those guys are nuts.
Oh God.
Okay. So,
Even that.
yeah. Someone did a impression of a moose call, and Chow was not happy.
We can drop you off.
Do I need to bring my car?
Did you drive
do.
yourself? Well, you could.
Did I? I think I drove here, didn't I?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Y'all can hop in
We
Basanti.
established that Maya has a car and the car has a name.
Her name is Basanti.
I don't think you brought your car with you. We all carpooled down here.
Did we? That's what I'm trying to remember.
Marceline came by Uber, I think.
I can just bring for an Uber.
You could take Dylan's car.
I was about to ask if he had a car because that's important.
Bjorn absolutely has a car.
Okay.
What is it, like a Toyota Camry?
Yay, Bjorn's in a Toyota Camry.
He's Bjorn, not Chris Hemsworth.
Bjorn is still an actor, though.
It's probably some kind of SUV with four-wheel drive, considering he's driving around in rural Minnesota at the moment.
I mean, it's not like actors make a lot of money.
Listen, I never said it needs to be like a freaking Lamborghini or something, okay? I just don't think it's a Toyota Prius.
No,
or a Camry, whatever. I don't care.
I'm saying it's a perfectly sensible car.
I don't think Bjorn's driving that. Okay.
Could be driving a Jeep, but like one with character, like rusted out, and
I don't think that's...
maybe it's outfitted with a fake off-road option.
That doesn't seem like Bjorn's style either, does it, Marceline? I'm not even dating the man, and I know that.
So, storyteller, spare us this mystery. What type of car does Bjorn drive?
I'm trying to remember what kind of car my dad drives. But he just got a new vehicle, so I don't remember what it is. Anyway, it's an SUV of some kind. There's this enough room. You can haul movie gear.
Oh, is it a Kia? I bet it's a Kia. That's a Kia Sportage.
Maybe. Listen, he doesn't want to advertise that he's famous or has money. That gets you in trouble.
That's fair.
So yeah, Bjorn can give everybody a ride out to meet Patrick.
That works.
In the meantime, Ray and Chow are going to go check out the land baron.
Yeah, we're going to investigate the house.
Yes. Mr. Erickson Petersburg.
Shouldn't be too far out of the way, but we should probably just drive.
All right. Is this is someone who is does he own this land, or is it or something nearby?
Oh, he owns this land. He owns probably rents out or leases out the land to a number of other smaller farms.
Ah.
Yeah.
Have there been attacks, or is it just people missing? Or do we know yet?
I believe there was one attack. I tried following the scent, but it sort of just seems to appear and disappear in places. But I know it's been hunting.
Interesting. All right. So probably as we're driving, I'm sort of letting since we're driving through a more rural area, I'm probably driving a little more slowly than I would. So I'm sort of letting Pocket sit on the dash.
Is Pocket your supernatural radar right now?
Could be.
The dashboard hula girl.
Like a dashboard echolocation to like detect supernatural things.
Maybe.
Do we have any reason to suspect he's involved, or do we just want to find out if he knows what has been going on?
Oh, I was going to try to sniff around and see if I could catch a werewolf scent, but
very good.
Okay.
Check and see if he's clued in.
Okay.
Sounds
So you pull up to the Petersburg farmhouse. It's kind of an old-fashioned looking farmhouse, a little bit creepy on the outside. Like Bjorn has got some excellent B-roll of this house for the movie. One of the first things you notice, besides the fact that it looks like it would be a great haunted house, is there's a little Monarch Securities sign out in the yard.
Okay. He just sort of smiles and points as we drive up. And actually, seeing that sign as we drive up, I'm actually going to slow down. If we get close to the sign, I'm going to look. Do we put any reference numbers on those signs as for like, which, if like we have a unit or something here, a unit of security devices or anything here, that kind of thing that we'd be able to recognize that I can like feed into a company thing.
You're the Monarch Securities agent.
Oh, that's fair. I feel as though it would be good if we had such a thing. So
perhaps.
I'm just going to kind of do a thing where I real quick sort of slow down. I'm just going to get the number off the sign real quick and just kind of send it in. Just sort of text quick query. Have we had anything tripped from this unit number?
Okay. So it's probably in the mid-afternoon, I would say. Because it can't be too dark or they wouldn't be able to do much shooting without lots of light. So you get a response from Iris. No alarms, but Mr. Petersburg does have a high-tech package installed.
It's just sort of like a monitoring system, that kind of thing?
Yeah. He's got a security system. He's got a panic room in the basement.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
State of the art, everything.
All right. Well, I'll just ask if they'll bring. I probably have an app that I can bring his file up on. Then, if that's the case, and just so I can make sure I've got his info here. And I'll be like, do you want me to? But would you like me to go ahead and talk to him while you're sniffing around, or do we want to sort of check outside first? I can tell you we're on camera right now. Yeah, you see, he's spraying for the he's spraying for the silver security package.
Did indeed. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean.
And then I'll ask Chow. Do you want me to go and talk to him before we look around, or what? So I'm just checking with Chow to see if he wants us to go and talk to the. So Anino, I'm checking with Chow to see if he wants us to go up and like knock on the door or anything before we start looking around.
Yeah, Chow's gonna just glance around and see if there is any sign of animal movement around the place.
Okay. You do see there's like a pretty large fenced-in enclosure, and Mr. Petersburg owns a large dog.
Look like there's a wolf around here. Yeah, we might as well just knock on the door. Just, you might answer the door with a shotgun. Yeah. These country folk are a little touchy about their privacy.
Oh no, he's probably he'll have seen us by now, and so as I'm sort of pull up and sort of getting out of the vehicle, I'm going to have my card out or my ID. I'm gonna have place my wallet with my ID on it, and I'm just going to hold it up in the direction of where the camera should be.
Okay. Sure.
Or while I'm doing that, and just sort of wave, and we're getting up, just making sure I've got my stuff together, and we'll then head toward the door.
Okay. There is an intercom panel next to the door.
Press it. What was his name again? I have his name in front of me, but the last Petersburg.
Yes.
Let me write that down so that I actually have it in front of me. Just sort of I'm gonna hit the intercom button. Mr. Petersburg. Yes, I'm here with Monarch Securities. We just had reports of some activity in this area. We just wanted to just do a quick check if that's all right with you.
You're welcome to have a look around. I'm afraid I can't come to the door at the moment.
Very good, very good. Have you noticed any recent disturbances in the area? We didn't have anything. You haven't received any calls on it or anything, but I just wanted to directly. But we received a call on something in the area, so we just wanted to make sure everyone is safe.
There's been some fireworks late in the evening.
Ah,
Not particularly unusual, but a bit irritating at times.
and I saw a film crew on the way in here. Was there everything been all right with dealing with all of that?
Oh, yes, the film crew has been quite polite. They asked me a week or so ago if they could get some footage of the house, and I showed them around a bit. But I have commitments this particular week, so I'm afraid I'm in the middle of something. So I instructed them to just make sure they were finished by this week. So I haven't seen them since that day.
Ah, very well. Well, thank you very much. We're going to have a bit of a look around then, hopefully, if it's nothing, then you probably won't be hearing from us again. But if it is, we might come back. I may come back and need to ask a few more questions. But we much appreciated, Mr. Petersburg.
Very well. Hope you find what you're looking for.
We usually do. And, just sort of just turn to Chow, like,
He was a little suspicious.
Hmm?
Oh, just wouldn't even come to the door. Just.
Actually, thinking back on it, I guess, did it seem as though he was being evasive at all?
You could roll empathy to see if you could get a read on him.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
over the intercom.
Yeah, I mean, this is really just, what I can get. I got me a 4.
Okay. I mean, this is kind of your thing. He's wary of strangers. Probably the fact that you introduced yourself as Monarch Security is the only reason he answered at all. But other than that, hard to say.
Okay. Well, yeah, Sorry, I'll be like, he seems like
I
seems like a
yeah.
he seems all right. I just think he's probably just probably wary of visitors.
Well, I mean, you do have a little assistant who can snoop around and places
this
that
is
we
very
can't
true.
get to.
This is very true, and just sort of just kind of looking down. So yeah, I mean, if we find I figure we'll take a quick, we'll sort of look around first, and then if need be, I'll sort of I'll let Pocket wander off and look around, see if she spots anything.
Okay. So Agent Tomato pops out of your pocket. She has found a little doll-sized fedora.
Oh my god!
Somewhere.
Oh my god.
This is how you know she's a detective. She pops out and she takes a look at the house and she says, "You don't want me to go in there, right?"
Oh no, we can get in if we need to.
You just
I
look in a
don't
couple
think
of
you should
windows.
try to go in. There is so much magic on that house.
Hmm.
Really?
Yes, we'd need to. Yeah, we'd need to turn off the. Do we? Wait a minute. We don't give. Do we give the magic stuff to people with the silver memberships?
You don't know, but Pocket is saying, in addition to all of the high-tech security, there's also magical wards.
Like, I don't know if we give the. Huh. I'm gonna send a text back to Iris real quick and just like does silver include magic wards? Question mark. Does silver package include magic wards?
Not that I'm aware, but
Did we do anything special for Petersburg?
I wouldn't put it past someone if they are in the know to also have someone put magic wards on their place.
Yeah. Sort of showing us something. So just sort of looking over at Chow. Oh, yeah. But that is interesting. Yeah, no, it's we didn't put the magic wards up. So I suppose he knows maybe he knows a wizard.
Seems sus to me, but I'm not there.
Yeah. It's probably going to seem sus to everyone other than Ray. I don't know.
Ray just always thinks the best of people.
He tries to.
Until proven otherwise.
He tries to so hard.
What we love about him.
So so just sort of shrug and just sort of ask Cal. But yeah, I mean we can or sort of say to Pocket. But just be careful. I don't. Let's not try to go in or do anything that'll trip the wards. But just feel free if you want to look around.
Okay. So she kind of zooms around, does a little look-see.
And I'll actually turn to Chow. Do you need to change in order to sniff around, or do you or is that something you can just do?
No, I would need to change.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I've got a heightened sense of smell, but it's a little tough for me to pick it out with a human nose, given all that I smoke.
Understood. Well, if we have sufficient warning, did you bring did he? Do you have a bag or anything for your clothing or anything? If we have warning.
Oh yeah. I came prepared.
Excellent. Just going to say, I think I do have an empty briefcase in the car, but that's all I have right now. Otherwise, just sort of nods, and just sort of. At this point, Ray is just sort of following Chow's lead, whatever Chow wants to look at this point, since he's been on the scene longer.
Yeah. So I think that Chow is going to move a fair distance away from the house.
Okay.
And then, so now he's in the middle of a field, stripping down and packing his clothes in a bag before he transforms into a moose.
Need to get you a little backpack that you can dangle on your horns.
He tried to acquire a backpack.
He
but,
did. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get him one.
Anyway. So, well, Chow is transforming. Let's go ahead and cut to the rest of the party with Bjorn and Patrick, the hockey dad. So, Bjorn drives into town and pulls up in front of, this nice kind of suburban looking house, 2-car garage, very waspy. Rings the doorbell. And if you go under persons of interest and scroll down, Patrick answers. He looks exactly like someone you would have expected to star in a movie about, teenage hockey players. But, fast forward 20 years or so. Yes. He was also in the Mighty Ducks. So, yes. Yeah. So he looks like a hockey dad. Bjorn makes introductions.
I just need to say, I love that there's Brad, Chad, and Thad.
Yeah. Just a whole bunch of guys whose names sound
Just
almost
bros.
identical. They all have kids named things like Aiden, Caden, Hayden, and Jaden.
Yep. Just dude bros. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just dude bros being dude bros. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So kind of he shows you inside. You can hear the sound of mom trying to get the kids ready to go to hockey practice. Dog barking in the backyard. Just, chaos. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, what? Do you think Bjorn could just kind of bro it out of him?
Bro it out.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for myself tonight. I am a menace.
You're gonna make me RP with myself.
Isn't that half the joy of being a GM?
Right?
I mean, fair.
On a more serious note, I don't know if I can do any kind of magic that would like a truth potion spell type of situation. I don't think I can do anything like that. Can you? Like something that inspires honesty? You can?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Oh my god, I can't believe. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Oh I don't think we should
it's
spray
your
him.
potion.
I don't think we should spray him unless we are mildly more confident. You know, that seems like a confirmation, not a step one. You know.
Just open the door of the spray bottle.
Like in Supernatural, every time they meet a new person, they find some way to sprinkle them with holy water, get them to touch actual silverware.
Oh my god.
It's not subtle at all.
How are you going to produce a random spray bottle in somebody else's house and try to make it look natural? Oh, okay. I got it. You have exorcisms. You didn't even put it in a Ziploc bag.
It's leaking.
Oh, maybe like a little tiny jar, maybe.
You sat directly
James.
on Bjorn's car seats with that?
James, you're leaking.
Spoiler alert. James Robert Brown is not a shapeshifter.
Oh my god, what is happening?
Everything okay there, buddy? Can I get you a towel? No. Come on. Kitchen's this way. I can get everybody some drinks while we're in there.
Wow. I don't care.
Coffee, we got
wow. Maya will follow James just to like save James from himself.
Okay. So you go.
Yeah, half. It's the other half she's worried about.
You go to the kitchen with the suspected werewolf. Okay. You sure about that there, bud? Okay. Right. Yet. Just flammable material.
Just a little something in your pocket there, bud. Did I do a good job? Did I do a good job?
Aggressively Midwestern.
Just get a little Minnesotan on you here.
So you go into the kitchen. Patrick offers decaf. We got some soda pop. He gets you towels. Yeah. What are you talking about your guests? What kind of host would I be if I didn't offer you some refreshments? My ma would never let me hear the end of it.
Is right.
So you're all friends of Bjorn's, eh?
Gee, thanks. I mean, I'm friends with Marceline, so
We all know Bjorn. That's a way to put it. How do you know him?
We used to play hockey together. Well, we used to play hockey on opposite teams, but you know.
Uh-huh. And you've kept in some sort of contact over the years, despite the fact that you were on opposite teams?
Not really. We just happened to run into Bjorn a couple weeks back when he was looking for some kids to play extras at in the movie. There was a hockey camp scene, and my kids play, so we signed him up.
So, how much time would you say you spend around the movie set since your kid is an extra?
Not that long. I think we had a few days last weekend, Friday after school, and then Saturday, and a little bit Sunday morning. We had a little bit of snow, and they wanted to get some good shots.
So, you haven't been around the set recently?
No, we had school and practice.
Do you know if there's anybody else who might have been around the set recently? Someone else whose kid was an extra in one of the scenes?
Not that I know of. I mean, all the kids were in the scenes together, so we tend to be out there at the same time. Mostly weekends. I think we've got another shoot coming up Sunday afternoon, but we haven't been out there this week yet.
Hmm.
You're welcome. Down the hall, first door on the right. Okay. All right. Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh,
if
no.
you don't have a skill that you think would make you sneaky, you can always roll at mediocre.
James, how could you?
Wizards. Quick to anger, not very subtle.
Oh.
Yeah, it is indeed. So you're not super stealthy. Let me see if anybody else in the house, such as Patrick, is paying attention.
Well, thankfully, at least it wasn't a poor or terrible. Okay, we'll take that.
So it looks like he just happens to look over to make sure you don't get lost in his, big rich bro house. And sees you sort of looking around. He's like, "Oh, if the bathroom's occupied, there's another one upstairs, right at the top." Okay. So you head upstairs. Let's see. I would take alertness or investigation to see if you find anything interesting. Okay, sure. Right. Okay, superb. So you whip out your shades and you scope out the upstairs. Nothing is really pinging your magical radar like at first glance. You see a couple of kids' bedrooms. There is a bathroom at the top of the stairs. Everything looks pretty much vanilla. Now, if you are still wearing your shades when you go back downstairs, that's another matter. Mm-hmm. Okay. So as you come down the stairs, kind of like trying to, subtly peek around and get a look at Patrick with your shades on, you do notice that he's got a little bit of it's just a very faint magical aura. Um, yeah. Okay. It's not dissimilar to when you were looking at Yi Hawthorne earlier. Just it's subtle, but it's there. Not like not quite as strong as Maya's. And Marceline probably looks interesting if you get a look at her too. But now you're falling down the stairs. And
Those things can see through illusions, right?
yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Bjorn's got the big wolf on campus aura. So so you fall down the stairs, you turn some heads, and I think that's a good place to take a quick break.
sun starts growing colder and the dark starts getting bold. You don't know what the cards are holding and you think you ought to fold. I got faith to spare, changes in the air. Embrace it if you dare, transform your destiny. You've been down on your luck, oh, but I'm not giving up. Sometimes just enough is all you need. When the sky flashes a warning of the struggles to be born, you gotta hold out till the morning, so you turn to face the storm. Let the shadows fall, let the sirens call. Underneath it all, I'm whispering, let your troubles roll away into my soul gaze. I won't look away, I'm listening. I got faith to spare, changes in the air. Embrace it if you dare, transform your destiny. You've been down on your luck, but I'm not giving up. Sometimes just enough is all you need. Sometimes just enough is all you need.
No? Oh no! And we're back! Hello, everyone! Simon's still having audio issues, but we're back.
Oh,
Welcome
shit,
back.
now it works.
Oh. This is what it's
Alright.
been doing to us, to Simon all day.
I am back to my old config and everything works, yet nothing worked an hour and 45 minutes ago. I love this. Hey! I tumbled down the
So-
stairs. I took some damage.
Yes.
Yes. So before we went to break, James was scoping around the hockey dad's house, looking for any illusions or magic, and came back downstairs with the Ray-Bans of True Sight and saw a magical aura around said hockey dad, and then fell down the stairs. So we're gonna cut back to Chow, who is currently moosed out and scoping out the neighbor's place by the movie set to see if there's anything suspicious going on there.
So now that we're in moose form, think that Chow is just going to start examining all the not so wonderful scents that are.
Okay. So, there's a dog. There's various automobile smells from the garage. There's, I mean, you've probably been around magic enough to start picking up on whether or not it has a scent to your senses. Some people do.
Okay. So more specifically, he's looking for the werewolf scent that he caught when he was on the set.
You don't smell that werewolf.
I smell other werewolves?
What do you want to roll for it? Investigation?
Sure. Why not?
Nope. No werewolves here.
Liar.
I've been just sort of following the moose. Probably, if this helps, I will carry his clothing bag over one shoulder or something, so that it'll be with us if he needs it.
Okay.
If I'll just kind of be looking around while this is going on. Well, I will wait and see what the moose does. But if we feel as though we hit a dead end, I shall also look around.
You're welcome to roll for investigation as well.
Okay, I will
or
do that.
alertness if you just want to use your passive awareness. Depends
It's a
how
temptation
sleepy
for
you're
that.
being.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if we do, we get to a point where we just sort of stop, or are we still moving around a lot?
No. What does the frustrated weremoose do when he comes up with no werewolf leads?
Yeah. Chow is just going to revert back to human form with some frustration and
Okay.
put his
Yeah.
clothes back on. I got nothing here. This
All right.
seems like a dead end.
I will. Would you find? Was there a trail leading out here of any kind? Do you think?
Oh, I didn't even catch the scent that I was looking for. Everything
Drug.
around here is just too muddled.
Huh. I will go ahead and I will look around since we have a moment since we've stopped for a transformation.
Okay.
If I may, I will use investigation then. Since we're not on the move, I will use investigation.
Okay.
And that is a 5.
Okay. You can pick up on, paw prints from when the dog has been walked. You pick out like various locations of security cameras, but nothing quite big enough or suspicious enough to suggest there's a magical werewolf around.
Yeah. And just sort of after looking around for a bit, I'm like, yeah, it's looking like I'm not seeing any signs either of anything. There's been a dog out here, but which you probably picked up, but so I see that, but nothing with that I can see that's left a trail of any kind that would be big enough to be who we're looking for. And just sort of shrug. Honestly, the only thing supernatural around here is what the wards he's got up. But maybe I wonder, maybe Pocket saw something.
She comes back and she says, I didn't really see anything through the windows. I don't want to try to go in because it's like a magical bug zapper for like big people.
Ah,
I
it's really
don't have permission to go in.
Yeah, very strong words. Then,
Well,
yeah, and if we try, yeah,
if we don't really have any cause to escalate this, I'm guessing. And, well, I don't feel like messing around with things that probably are out of my league. So maybe we should just go back to the set, and maybe your fresh eyes would be able to find something
Okay.
overlooked.
All right.
And I'm gonna go ahead and try to text the others, or just text the
Okay.
group chat,
Sure.
and you say looked around Petersburg's place. It's heavily warded, but that aside, no sign of. And I'll do like if there's a wolf emote, then I'll do the wolf emote.
Sure. Okay. So we will cut back to the other group at Patrick's house. James has just slid down the stairs. Patrick is kind of in dad mode, despite the fact that you're old enough to be his dad, perhaps. Or, at least the favorite uncle. So, and he comes over, he's like, "You all right? Did the kids leave toys on the stairs again? I've been on their case."
No, it's me. Thinking of something. Didn't see the steps.
As long as you're not hurt.
No, but I might need another towel because the bag gave way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help yourself. So Bjorn tells me you've been working on the movie set.
Me?
Asking a lot about hockey.
Oh, I guess you can say I'm working. I don't consider it working. But yeah, I've been around the set a few times. It drove people there mostly. Funny thing, that movie there. Did Bjorn tell you about it?
Well, yeah, we got a copy of this script.
What did you think?
Seems wholesome enough.
You think they did the werewolves right?
I mean, I'm no expert, but I think it's a refreshing take.
Yeah, I think so. You sorry for asking that, but you ever think some of your old hockey pal might have taken that movie a bit too seriously?
I mean, we definitely would have taken some parts of it way too seriously when we were younger, especially the hockey part.
Yeah, we all know what it is. Play hockey and then howl at the moon on a Wednesday night, right?
I mean, you're not too far off. We got pretty gung-ho sometimes. Still do, some of us. I had to go out and apologize to Mr. and Mrs. Fang because some of the guys were out celebrating a big win the other day. It might have been out a little too late. Partied a little too hard.
Who all was out?
Oh, Brad and Kevin, Tad.
Brad, Kevin, Tad.
I think,
Brad, Kevin, and
Yeah.
Tad.
yeah, I had to
If you
Head
weren't
out
hockey players, I would think you were making these names up, but I believe you.
Any of y'all friends upset about the movie?
I think
Nah, right?
we ran into our old coach a few weeks back, and I think some of us started to fall back into old habits now that our kids are into sport. So I had to give them a talking to.
Nostalgia's a real thing. Who's your coach?
Coach Andre Kopecki. He was
Andre.
pretty intense, let me tell you.
Silly question, but would you say he considered himself an alpha?
Oh, I don't know that he really used those words back in the day, but you know, if the shoe fits.
Mm-hmm. I try to look over his shoulder to Marceline and Maya. Be like,
Hard to tell. Did we, out of character, did we already cover, like, if anyone's upset about the movie? No, right? Yes? No?
Nobody's
No?
really upset about the movie.
Okay. Okay.
At least nobody that you've talked to.
this Mr. Kopecki fella, do
Do you know Chandler?
Oh yeah. I used to know Chandler. Haven't seen her in a long time.
How'd you know her? She also go to the same school as you?
Yeah. I mean, her dad was coach, so
Yeah. Makes sense. What am I saying?
she and her mom came to a lot of the games. I don't think she was that into sports, but you know,
Gotta cheer on Dad.
she's a good sport all the same. I think she stopped coming after one of the guys in the stands was giving her a hard time.
Who? Do you know? That
Yeah.
sucks.
There was this kid named Chad who tried out for the team. He didn't make the cut. He wasn't really a team player. Tried to
Looking at
be
the
the star,
picture.
and you gotta share the ice.
Yeah. Gotta pass the puck. I get you.
Yeah.
Gotta pass the puck. Was Chad out that night with your friends? Nah. Right? Yeah.
No, we don't really hang out with him much.
Okay.
Does he still live in town? Do you know?
Yeah, he does.
I think it's Chad.
He does. He's kind of seems like he's still got a chip on his shoulder. I've only really seen him in passing, but our kids go to school with his, so
Is he in the? No, he wasn't in the movie.
No.
Do you think he would be jealous of you guys being in the movie?
I don't know. I mean, he was real jealous back in the day. He wanted to be on the team, something fierce, like, trying to impress his dad or whatnot.
So
But
wouldn't be that much of a leap to say that he might want to be on the team again.
wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Ain't that the truth?
Like, some of us have worked real hard to let go of that aggression and stuff, but others, it's a work in progress.
Oh, well, would you look at the time? I gotta go. Right?
Yeah, we should.
All right, well, it was good talking to you. I suppose we better get these kids piled in the van and get out to practice.
Yeah. Don't wanna keep you. Good talking to you. Long Minnesotan goodbye.
Yeah, before we go. Do you know where Chad lives now?
I think he lives by the bowling alley, maybe. I don't know. We're not that close.
That's fine. It was out of curiosity, really. All right.
All right. Well, you take care now.
You too?
All right. So you head out, heading back to the set, or
Well, if no one else writes to them, I'll contact Chow and Ray to let them know we have a potential lead. Guy called Chad. Chip on his shoulder. Has motive.
Mm-hmm.
Lives near the bowling alley. Do you want to meet?
Just going to send wolf emote ?
I respond with a maybe.
And I respond with 3 emotes of squirting water.
Okay then.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah, but Ray doesn't know about that.
Yeah.
No, and James doesn't know it has another connotation.
Yep.
Just sort of look over at Chow. It's like, I don't know if they know if this. Apparently, they've got a suspect. Chad, what is that? Is that 3 geysers? Maybe in 3 geysers, possibly. Do we want to meet them by the bowling alley?
Means waterboarding. No, it doesn't. No, stop.
No, I think they've got it. Those 3 emojis. Sounds like they're deep underwater. I don't really feel like messing with that.
They're in over their heads.
Oh my god.
I will. I'll kind of. Actually, if we're driving by this point, I'm probably I'm probably not. I'm not going to be texting and driving. That is not a thing that Ray would do. But we probably will sort of by this point he's picked up and we'll just sort of be.
Rocket can answer for you, but she'll only reply with emojis.
Emoji salad. Figure out the words.
you want to and if and he'll just say, and he'll just sort of look over as he's sort of is pulled back and he's driving again. He's like, do you want to? Okay, do you want to tell them that we're headed to the set?
Yeah, he's just gonna say, gonna go back to the set with Ray. Um, See if maybe he catches anything that we might have missed.
Thumbs up.
Okay. So you make your way to the bowling alley and just like slowly drive around.
Well, I think so Bjorn is driving, right?
Yeah, Bjorn's
Right, okay.
driving.
While we're driving to the bowling alley, I'll try to look up the equivalent of the yellow pages because that's the closest thing that James can think of.
Okay, sure.
For this Chad. Shit, what was his last name again? That was Kopek.
Good question.
Did we get a last
We
name?
didn't get a last name.
We didn't get a last name, right?
Kopecki is coach.
Yeah.
We only know it's
Well,
Chad.
I mean, Bjorn could probably tell us. I mean, he's the guy that didn't make the team.
Bjorn could probably tell you. Let me
Hey,
roll
Bjorn,
a d20 on the most popular surnames in Minnesota.
Amazing. What was
Hansen.
his name? Hansen?
Hansen.
Hansen.
Chad
Chad
Hansen.
Hansen. Perfection.
Doesn't sound like a delinquent at all. Fuck. And it's a popular surname, and so I guess my search of the yellow pages is gonna take forever.
So many. There are over 21,000 Hansons in Minnesota at large. Just searching the town of New London probably narrows it down a bit, but there's still probably quite a few. You can drive by and like look at names on mailboxes near the bowling alley.
Gonna look weird, but
Yeah.
do we have any other choice?
Don't think so.
I mean, you do find a mailbox that says Hanson.
Well, hey, that's something.
So, what's the plan? Bjorn asks.
What? Out of character question. What time is it?
It's probably getting close to sundown at this point because it's like mid-February.
Would you say it's still early enough to go knock on someone's door?
Yeah, it's probably like just before dinner time.
Okay. So
are we just gonna walk up there and just be like, "Hi, we're friends of Bjorn again"?
That might not be the best introduction.
No. That's why I'm asking.
We're not gonna
I'm just not sure how to approach this.
Have we actually read the script for the movie that Bjorn is working on?
Would you like to have read the script while you've been driving around? Bjorn probably has a copy in the car.
I feel like it would be useful to give us further information. So, is Chad portrayed at all in this story?
No, not really. It's mostly Bjorn's character and his sister are like running this like winter camp for kids, for supernatural kids. And Bjorn's best friend in the movie is a vampire.
So there's no like the angle of him being angry enough to try to attack someone that works on the movie because he's learned somehow that I don't know, that the script is like libel or something. That doesn't work.
Well, I mean, he's angry probably because he's not in the movie at all, and he's a werewolf acting out. But I don't know if we have like.
Could we offer him a role?
Yes.
I mean, Bjorn can go up, ask him if he wants to be in the movie. We gauge his reaction. I low-key spray him with my shapeshifter spray, and like we see where that goes.
Yeah. Hey, I know. Okay, Bjorn and Marceline, you approach. I'll make myself look like I'm like a casting director, and so I'm here with y'all. And Simon, you're also Simon who? Simon.
Yeah. What?
James.
I need to change my name in Zoom. Apparently, give me 2 seconds.
Please.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
It's okay.
There we go.
And James, you also look like you're a member of the crew. Like you and I can be members of the crew, and Marceline and Bjorn can walk up, and yeah, we'll make it look all official.
Okay.
Right? Good plan, right?
It works.
The plan is better than nothing.
And we can say that we, an extra broke a leg or something. That's why we're here super late. We thought of him.
Yeah.
Because we could bring him back to set.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what's his reaction.
So we're having Bjorn make this pitch.
Well,
yes.
Bjorn or Marceline, I guess.
Yeah. Either or.
Okay.
His movie, he can make the pitch.
Okay. Let's see. Is Bjorn deceptive? Unlikely.
Oh, honey.
Could it be a mediocre role?
Oh no.
That is deceptive as a
it is a mediocre, the most mediocre of mediocre roles. So Bjorn goes and he attempts to spin this pitch about, needing some more kids for the camp scene or whatever, and kids and parents. And he's not a very good liar.
Okay. Can I take a stab at this? I think what Maya's gonna do is like kind of like lower her glasses, like she's looking at Chad like over her glasses a little bit, like she's eyeing him up a little bit, and then like Maya will step forward and be like, "Good, give me a sec here, hon. Hi, Maya, casting director. Nice to meet you. You look like you." Listen, I know we needed an extra to like be one of the kids' dads, but you look like you have something. I don't know how to place my finger on it. We need Bjorn. Don't we need hockey players? Right? We need hockey players, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we need hockey players, and I think we're still short on hockey players. How would you like to be a hockey player? You get lots of screen time.
Okay. Would you like to roll deception or persuasion?
Can I roll deceit?
You absolutely can roll deceit.
Yes, that is something I am great at. And I'm wondering if there's an aspect I can call upon. Don't think this counts as any of them, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Oh, it's a 4. It's a 4. I'll take it.
Okay.
It's a great. It's a great. I'll take it.
Okay. Good. Good. I'm trying to see. What he needs to roll in response. I don't think he has any particular skills for it, so he's gonna just make a mediocre roll.
Yes.
Yeah. You have stroked his ego.
Excellent. Now we're getting to
He
business.
seems interested.
Well, great. Well then, why don't you? Are you busy? I'm so sorry. I know that it's almost supper time. Like I know we're kind of intruding a little bit, but do you have? Can you come on set and we can just get you fitted for costumes and stuff like that, and then work out a time that works best for you for some filming. Would that be okay?
Sure.
All right.
Mary
Reel
can
him
take
on
care
in.
of the kids' dinner.
Just keep reeling the werewolf in.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, do we have space in our car? I think our car is full. Could you follow our car?
No. He can take
Yeah.
my place in the car. I'll just need to wipe off the clean it first, right?
Yeah.
And this is why you're an assistant casting director and not a casting director, James. Let's go.
So I'll just get my bottle out. Or pretend
Okay.
I'm like wiping the seat. Turn to the guy, to Chad. I'm like, there you go, big guy. And like I accidentally spray him. I'm like, oh, shit, sorry.
James!
Okay.
How
Okay.
could you?
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah, he definitely flinches when you spritz him with your weird truth spray.
What does it do anything?
Yeah, is it the reaction?
Yeah. It's the reaction you're expecting or
Okay.
you're hoping for.
Okay, so
Ooh.
it's
Really?
a okay.
He is a shapeshifter.
We have confirmed a woo.
He's a shapeshifter of some kind.
so sorry. So sorry. Sit down. They'll bring you there. And I'll just type into like on the group chat, pretending I'm like calling an Uber for myself. And just text everyone and like found our wolf.
Found our wolf or shifter confirmed. That's the question. Although I can't say that part out loud because we have a suspect with us.
Mm-hmm.
And like if nobody wants to do anything else, I think she's gonna try and engage Chad the entire conversation back. Like
Sure,
she'll let Marceline take the front seat next to Bjorn, and she'll hop in on the side. She'll be like, "So Chad, like, tell me about yourself. You know, have you been here your whole life?"
Yeah, and he will happily engage because I don't know. People like to talk about themselves.
Oh yeah. He'll just, she'll want to hear about his high school days, about him trying out for hockey. She'll get real excited about the hockey stuff too. Like, oh, great, like that's great. You can totally pull on that for when you're acting, like those emotions and like the hockey and the training and yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
But
yep.
and ultimately, she's fishing for anything that might corroborate, what Maya already knows.
Yeah, yep. He'll tell you, like, his dad played hockey, his older brother played hockey.
Oh, and the family.
He's very proud that his kids got into it. You can tell he's kind of like living vicariously through the kids because, like, he didn't get to.
Aw, yeah. Yeah. Have you heard much about this movie before today?
Yeah, I mean, a little. It's small town. Or
True,
news
of course.
travels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to meet you. I'm not sure what else to ask him.
I think it's pretty swell of Bjorn to come back and film in a small town like this. Now that
Isn't
he's
it
such
great?
a big star.
I know. It's one of the things that makes working with Bjorn such a pleasure.
So you go back to the set with your suspect in tow. And
oh God. I mean, this is where things start to fall apart because Maya has zero authority on this set. Maybe she'll saddle him with Bjorn and be like, Bjorn, can you take him to costuming? But like, I don't know. Maya's like looking for any kind of reaction out of this guy, like on set. Like, is he genuinely like pleased to be here? Like, does he seem like he's maybe like salty about being here?
You can roll empathy or rapport. See if you get a read on him.
I will try.
Whatever other skill you think might be applicable.
Yeah. Don't think alertness counts, so I will roll empathy. Oops, that was the wrong button. There we go. It's a 1.
Okay. Like, he's not really trying to hide his reactions. He is definitely excited to, like, he really thinks you've got a big part for him, and it's definitely an ego boost. He's not super sincere about his compliments to Bjorn. It's he's doing the Minnesota nice thing.
Okay. Yeah. So he definitely seems a little bitter. I don't know. Okay. Well, we've got him here. I don't know how to, like, throw the net over the wolf, but we've got him in position.
Yeah. He's probably also mentioned, like, he was up for a big promotion and he didn't get it. So he's been kind of, like, bummed. So this is kind of, this is a nice pick-me-up.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad we can make your day better.
So.
I'll be there when I get there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Rain and
Chow are supposed to be on the set, right?
Yes.
Ray and Chow are on the set. You see Bjorn's car pull up. They're missing James. They've got some guy who looks like a Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I suppose that's the one that they said.
Probably. As Chow takes a toke. He's about giving up on the day.
Oh well. And I'll just sort of nod, and I'm like, let's see what's happening. And I guess Ray's just gonna head over, and not intrude on whatever it is that they're doing, but will be visibly nearby in case they need to use him for anything.
Okay.
If I
sort
can
of come
see,
up and nod and
yeah,
be there.
if I can see Ray, I'll just be like, excuse me, I need to
Yep.
go talk to my colleague for a second. She'll just
Okay.
kind of go
Yep.
to Ray.
Yep.
So kind of walks away with Ray a little bit further away and goes, okay, so James spritzed him with like this potion spray thing that it confirmed that he's a shifter. So he's also someone who tried out for the hockey team back in the day and never got it, and he was hassling Chandler Kopecki. You remember her? Honk honk. Who also went to the same
Interesting.
school. So he clearly tried to get with Chandler Kopecki. Didn't work out. Also didn't make the team. Seems like he's living a pretty lousy life. Seems like he'd be bitter. I don't know. Also a shifter confirmed. So.
Do you think that he did? And just as a reminder, I know someone told me this episode, but unfortunately, Jim's brain is not fully in.
Okay.
Fully in position. Was it there a thing we had one person go missing or something like that? Was that the thing? Like there's someone had gone missing off the set?
One of Bjorn's co-stars was attacked by a wolf.
Okay.
And I forget her name.
Was hospitalized. Her name was Kat Chanhassen.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't ask him about Kat, so I don't know if there's any collaboration there.
I don't know who that is. What was it, Kat?
Kathleen Chanhassen. She's down in Vanilla Humans.
Okay, got it. All right. So he probably. So he might have. So if it is he, then we need to find out. Have you seen any evidence that he made off with Miss Chanhassen?
No evidence.
He sort of nods. He might know something.
Yeah. So this story, quick recap of the wolf attack. They were doing a nighttime shoot, just a small cast and crew, and they were starting to pack up their gear and head out. And Kathleen was coming up towards the parking area when a wolf ran out and jumped her. She got bitten and scared, but then the rest of the crew came and chased the wolf away. So she ended up in the hospital, had stitches, got some antibiotics. Everybody was concerned that she might have gotten turned into a werewolf, but as far as we know, she hasn't.
Yeah. But no one has seen her since then.
No, we talked to her on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and Bjorn's probably checked in on her. She hasn't been back on set because she has taken.
Okay, so she's recovering from that.
So yeah, she's
might be turning possibly. Okay.
As far as we know, werewolves don't work by biting people.
Yeah. Okay. And so that now seated in there, I'll say.
Yes.
All right. So excellent. So but and so you've got him out here. What are we doing? How can I help?
Well, it seems like he's definitely still bitter with Bjorn. So I don't know. That's something. I pretended that I was a casting director to invite him out here. It was the only way that I could think of approaching his place in the first place, so that we could even get him out here and confirm that he was a shifter. So, that's kind of what we're running with right now. I don't know how to lay a trap though, if a trap is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's I think maybe James might be able to do something magical when he gets here. But all I would think to do myself would be just to sit the lad down and ask him questions. But I don't know if that's the approach you want to take on this or not. But I'll be happy to do it if you wish.
Honest to goodness, Raymond, do it. I can't think of anything better to do. I think if we just want to sit him down, ask him what he knows. Yeah, right.
All right. I'll be happy. I'll be
I
happy
don't know what
to.
I'm signing myself up for here, but here we go.
This is sadly what you're signing yourself up for is blind honesty.
Okay.
Oh God!
So-
Someone stop us!
Meanwhile, this conversation has been happening. James, you got yourself a ride. It won't take you long.
I have the
you're
power
probably
to
getting there.
arrive at an appropriately dramatic time. So
Yes. So while this conversation is happening, Bjorn has been getting Chad geared up, like they're gonna do some test shots on the ice.
Even just a costume fitting, you know.
Yeah, trying to get him fitted in some hockey gear.
Maya, if James is back, Maya, or maybe I can just ask this question of you, Alyssa. But do we know of any way that might like inspire Chad to kind of wolf out? Like, would that be something
I
Maya
mean,
would
you
know
could
about?
try to provoke him.
Okay. Hmm.
If Bjorn catches you for a second, he will say his thought was to like get the guy on some skates and like maybe try to get the aggression to come out on the
Yeah,
ice.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Honest to goodness, yep. Maya will heartily encourage this and be like, "Great, do it."
Yes,
Oh.
Anino?
Yeah. I was just going to, casually walk by and try to see if he can catch this guy's scent and match it to the ones that he's been smelling around the set. See if he can
Okay.
identify it that way.
Right. You're gonna roll alertness.
Actually giving him like blades right now, are we, while we're getting him kitted up?
Ice skates aren't that sharp.
but also
In
if
the
he's
hands of a werewolf, I'm a little more afraid.
It'd be like trying to slash people with the butt end of a butter knife.
Chow is not concerned.
We have a moose to protect us.
Okay.
We think.
We think. Hopefully. It's never a guaranteed thing, but
Can the moose skate? I think that's.
Yeah, I was just about to say this encounter on ice is not shaping up to be like.
well, maybe the moose can run on ice with his hooves.
Out of 5.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So yeah, you do. There is something familiar about his scent.
Oh. Well, he's just going to casually break out his cell phone and text the group like, I think I've got a match on this guy's scent. And then he just puts a big emoji of a nose.
Okay.
I'm just gonna answer with on my way. But I am giddy. That we got him.
Okay.
So are we going with the on the ice plan? Is that how we're?
It's up to you if you would like to converse with him before they get on the ice.
I don't want to ruin their
Okay.
plan. If their plan is to get him out there and get him to like confess something or whatever in order to just change that way, then that's cool. What do you folks think?
Yeah, we can either go the Talkie route or the Hulk route, and I don't know which one.
Maybe we can chat with him while he's lacing up. Would that does that sound like a good compromise?
Yeah, solid.
Cool. So yeah, we can probably work on that. So probably, I don't know if, I imagine that Ray probably knows how to skate if it need be. I've only got like a fair athletics, but we'll sort of see. Just simply because he's from Norway, so it's like I'm sure he learned at some point. But so it'll be one of those where I guess as we're getting closer, that he'll probably end up sort of trying to sort of go in that direction, and we'll just sort of ask, is there anything else I should know before we try to talk to him as he's getting ready to head out?
Don't think so.
All right. And so Ray will just approach in a very friendly fashion. This strange, tall, gray-suited Norwegian man with a sword at his hip.
I forgot about the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's carrying it with him. It's everywhere. And we just sort of approach, smiling. He'll go ahead and get his ID ready as this is happening. And what this kind of I assume there's sort of like a places to sit while he's like they've got him putting on the skates or what have you.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Is this an outdoor ice rink or is this indoor or where are we?
There's like a frozen pond that's been smoothed over.
And so he'll come up. He's just sort of looking at. I've not skated in a while. This is so nice. Hello, Mr. Hansen. You live in the area, yes? I'm Raymond Knudsen. He'll show his ID. And with Monarch Securities, there are some things I just need to. I understand are in the area, there are a few questions I just wanted to ask. If it would be all right while you're prepping here.
Sure.
He'll sit down like across from him, and say, excellent. So we are given to. So I don't know if you heard about this, if you're aware of this, but it was, I believe, a night or two ago. There was someone attacked out here in the evening. Her name is Kathleen Chanhassen. Do you know? Do you know Kathleen or Kat Chanhassen?
Can't say I've ever met her.
Apparently, she was. Apparently, she was bitten in the evening at some point by some animal or other. They think, perhaps. and she has been trying to recover from it, but she's been gotten a bit sick from it. But I just want to know: have you seen anything? Anything? Have there been any unusually large animals out here that might have done something of that nature that you might be aware of?
Not
I'm
that
just
I'm
being
aware
very, very
of.
kind, very open, and he's watching his response.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an empathy roll as Chad continues to shake his head and say, "No, he doesn't know anything about it."
All right. I shall empathize. I
Okay.
have a 4.
uh, yeah, he is lying his face off.
Hmm. And hmm. Ray will just sort of smile and nod, and he will look past toward if any of the other members of the group are anywhere in eyesight, he'll just sort of look up at them. And he will nod,
Maya will nod.
slightly sadly.
Oh.
Now you understand that you understand, Mr. Hansen, that sometimes some such the sort of animal we're looking for probably sometimes they cannot control themselves. There's not really any shame in that, but they have some difficulties, and we wish to help them. You sure you don't know any? You've not don't know anything? Haven't seen anyone or be aware of anyone of that that might be might know more about this?
Is that a persuasion?
Oh my God. Yeah, he's terrible at persuasion, but yes. So let's go ahead and make our mediocre roll.
Okay, if all else fails, we'll just put him on the ice, and I think
Yeah, well, yeah, that's. I figured the
because you've
ice is the
already,
next thing
you
that's
know,
about to
because
happen.
you've poked holes in him. So, but do it, try it.
And, oh, I got a 1.
Well, you just need him to get less than a 1.
And if not, then it'll be fine.
With our luck tonight, we know how that's going to go.
Don't jinx it.
The time.
It's a tie.
So
I'm actually not going to tag anything here. I'm gonna see where this goes.
Yeah, I believe in the Dresden Files, the PCs usually win ties. But I think in this case, what happens is he reaches into a pocket and pulls out this amulet with some teeth and claws on it, and he puts it around his neck.
Assuming there's no immediate reaction, Ray's just going to smile a little bit wider. He's like, with his eyes a little sad as he smiles. He's like, excellent. And he's just going to start.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he's gonna shuck off his sweatpants and shirt and turn into a wolf.
Ah,
When you say a wolf, you mean like, I know I'm not there, but like four-legged animal. We're not talking like the typical like two-legged
Yeah,
hybrid
it's not
werewolf.
it's not the hybrid movie monster werewolf. It's the four-legged, you know, on the large side, and it's kind of like a tawny blondish brownish color, and its eyes are the same color as his. So, how does everybody react?
Does he attack? Is he just sitting there?
I don't know. He looks aggressive, but you're not sure if he's gonna attack or just try to escape at this point. So I think this would probably be a good time to have everybody roll alertness to establish an initiative order.
Fair.
Oh dear.
Do I roll 2 because of like power
Yes.
or okay?
Yeah, I will have you roll as well.
Four. Wait, did he get to roll twice?
Oh god.
Once for
Well, I
Chad and once
rolled-
for Bjorn, right?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
correct.
Okay,
Okay, so Chow and Ray both have 3s. Who wants to go first?
Does Sean want to go? All right, well, yeah, doesn't
Wait, doesn't Maya go first?
Yeah,
I
but
was gonna
yeah.
five.
No,
between
but
the two of that are
fives.
tied,
Oh, okay.
you
Oh.
could roll
Oh, okay.
off or.
Well,
Right.
Chow is high, so he's probably gonna go second.
Okay.
right.
What did I say about a high moose?
But then again, you can argue that you rolled high, so
Ah!
you should win.
Well, you definitely rolled higher than Bjorn.
I mean, moose beats wolf, so
Anyone who's played enough rounds of Rochambeau knows that.
yeah.
Now I'm wondering if in nature it's the same thing. Like, how many wolves does it take to take down a moose?
Okay,
A pack.
Like
So-
a lot, yeah.
we have Maya up first with Marceline on deck.
Oh god, what do I do? I don't think I can make wooden handcuffs and they wouldn't do much, nor would a sword help in this situation because then the wolf will feel attacked. So I don't know what to do. I don't know. Those are the first two things that came to mind. Don't judge me. I don't want the wolf to run, and I don't want the wolf to attack. And I'm trying to figure out how to stop it from doing any of those things. And I'm failing to come up with anything. I am open to ideas. Like, my only magic power that feels useful would be like incite fear, but then that might make him run, and I don't know if that's useful. Yeah.
Except if we want to corner him somewhere.
Yeah. Is there anywhere on the set that we can corner this wolf?
I'm not saying it's a good idea to corner a wolf.
No, I know. We've been doing the bad idea express all this issue long. So I mean,
yeah, I mean, you could
just this issue.
Listen, shush.
You could try to chase him back up to the pole barn. It's up to you. There's all kinds of places you could corner somebody or something.
My stupid idea right now is I yell something insulting at the wolf and then run.
You want it to chase you?
Yes. I don't know. That's the stupidest idea I've got. I don't have a better one.
That sounds like provoke.
I don't know. Please
Would
help.
you like to roll to provoke?
I don't know if I should. I might die. But considering I have no other clue what to do, I guess
it's 5 on. It's like 6 on 1. So.
Yeah.
True.
I'm not there.
True it is. Well, hurry up and show up then. God damn, like
it's gonna be my turn at some point.
Yes, after Marceline.
Okay. Yes,
How hard can one work?
I don't have provoke as a skill. So
or before Marceline, you two can duke it out. I guess you both rolled 4s.
Okay. So should I just roll mediocre because I don't have provoke as a skill?
Yes.
Okay. I will roll mediocre. And that's bad.
That's real bad.
That's real bad.
That's like you might slip and slide on the snow. Bad.
Yeah.
I don't think roll can go that far down in the negatives.
Oh yeah, no, that's the worst of the worst rolls. That's
you
your
could roll
0.
all negatives, and if you have a 0, you could get -4.
You
have any aspects you want to tag to try to reroll or something?
Yes. Let's see what I can do. Better plan. I have a better plan.
Okay.
Can I attempt a better plan? Maybe not a better plan. I don't know if it's a better plan. But can Maya pull a card and turn it into like a wooden torch? Like to like light it on fire? Fire scare wolf? I don't know if this is any better. I don't know what to do.
You could
should we just stick with this?
Like evocation for like an instantaneous flaming torch, like produce bonfire kind of thing?
Basically, yeah. Like a wooden torch thing.
Sure.
And like chuck it at him?
I guess.
Can I ask a question, a narrative question before we do anything drastic? So putting on the amulet caused him to transform into a wolf, right?
Yes. As far
Is
as
the
you can
amulet
tell.
still visible?
Good point.
So we could see it around his neck. So, theoretically, if we were able to like grab it and pull it off of him, he turned back into Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Yes. If you can, in theory, if you can find the amulet in his furry neck, and take it off, you can turn him back into a crisp rat.
Okay. I think I want to stick with the torch thing more so that I can be a distraction then. I want to be able to like wave it around and make myself look like a threat and have the werewolf focus on me.
Okay.
That is.
Okay. So you're menacing the werewolf with the torch.
I am terrifying the werewolf with a torch.
Okay.
A werebrat.
All right. So we've got Marceline and James next with 4s. Which of you would like to go first?
Go ahead, Marceline.
Did the provocation do anything to the wolf?
Not really. 'Cause
Okay.
she rolled real low.
I'm going to try to daze it in that case.
Okay.
Sort of hypnotize it into just like standing still and not being aggressive.
Okay.
All right. That's discipline.
Uh-huh. Wow. That's an epic roll. And he does not have any points invested in his conviction. So let's see what happens. It's a 0. Your spell works.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Okay, so she'll just like step in front of Bjorn up to the wolf and just tell him, sit.
Okay. Is there any sort of like visible manifestation, or are you just working your charisma on him?
It just says select a target up to one zone away and make a roll using discipline. That target cannot move to another zone until you release them or they overcome an obstacle with opposition equal to your roll. So he's basically under my spell.
Yep. So what does that look like, just for flavor? Just like you just step out there like you own the stage?
Sorta.
Yeah.
Which is
okay.
Yeah.
Great. And this time, for the first time since we have started the campaign, it actually works. So, as far as you know, it's not his turn, but it looks like you have his attention, and it looks like he is going to do as you say.
Okay.
James.
So, I get to arrive at a dramatically appropriate time without spending a fate point if you agree with it.
Okay.
So, earlier I sent you a message.
Yes.
You agree with it?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Oh god. Oh
So
god. What's happening?
Your cab ride has pulled up, and you have gone to the pole barn and found. I'm assuming the party has kept you updated on what's going on, and you've gone to the pole barn and you found the Zamboni.
What are you about to do?
On which I have sprayed silver paint on the front.
Oh my god!
And just as this werewolf is like frozen, the Zamboni like pulls up as James, sitting on it, goes, "Yeehaw!" and just bunts. He doesn't roll over. He just like bunts the werewolf to the side. Try to maybe like squeeze him between the Zamboni and another like hard surface to just like keep him still. He doesn't know Marceline hypnotized him. But since he's hypnotized, can Chris Pratt do anything?
Not really. So I'm gonna say you drive up with the Zamboni. Marceline tells the wolf to sit. It sits. You pull up with the Zamboni and you just bump him into the goal. So now he's caught in the net. Now
Oh.
what?
I see all the cats are meowing.
They're cheering you on. They're cheering on the Zamboni.
Got him! Got him! James, I don't think James knows that it's the necklace that does the thing, so
No, he does it.
who's going after me?
After you is Ray.
This thing just sort of, the Zamboni plows in right in front of him, and it's like, huh. Ray will stand up and just sort of looking over. I have a very strange, nitpicky question to ask at this moment.
Okay.
About the setup here. Is there a so looking over, just sort of stepping around, looking over? Is there space between the front of the Zamboni and the net enclosure? In other words, would there be? Is there? There doesn't need to be much space. Does the wolf have any space in there? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, probably very little.
Okay.
Like,
Because if there's an, yeah, go ahead.
like, there's probably not enough space for him to get out unless he can shove it away from the Zamboni. But it's not his turn yet.
Sure.
And it is a net, so like it.
The gap that I'm but usually like a goal net will have like it'll be attached to like a frame,
It's got
right?
like a frame around it.
Okay. So all I'm really looking for is if there's a gap about this big.
I mean, probably.
Excellent. So we just sort of look at it. He's just sort of like, huh. He looks carefully to see if he can still spy if he can still spy the necklace, if he can still see it.
Right. Also, it's a net,
And
so you could reach through the net.
Yeah.
But
So he's gonna carefully. He's
Yeah.
going to pull out. He's going to carefully pull the sword out. Pull the sword of Freyr out.
Mhm.
And says, just and sort of mumble to it, just the lightest touch today. And the sword will leave his hand and drift carefully where the net is to cut the loop, the necklace's loop off.
Okay.
In other words, cut through the part of the necklace. To let
Okay.
it fall
Okay.
off.
You
And
you give his amulet the snip. It falls to the ice, and his wolf form melts back into a naked man.
just sort of look down at his pocket. You want to go and grab that amulet real quick? Excellent. I assume Pocket will come flying back with the amulet.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Don't you turn into a mini wolf now, Tomato.
I'm not gonna wear it.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. You might think it looks pretty. I don't know.
Oh, it's ugly.
Okay, good. Good. I like this. You have good taste.
This is
Do we
nasty
have anything
magic.
Do we have anything to contain that in?
Maybe.
I might have a Ziploc bag lying around in my pockets.
No. I mean, sure, for now. I'm sure I can call Astrid and ask her if she's got a container that we can use to actually contain it.
Why don't you just put it in one of your leftover Tupperwares?
It works.
That works.
Do you think that the necklace is going to call to someone to wear it.
I don't know. What kind of pasta do you have for this? For silly?
I am not a pastomancer, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, maybe you can just put it between two slices of Texas toast. Let it soak up all that wolf magic, whatever. Like how they, serve barbecue in Texas on top of bread.
I mean, you make a point, Zhao.
I can't believe you're seriously considering this right now.
No, but if I let the necklace marinate in barbecue sauce, I can probably derive a way to stave off lycanthropy for a bit. Like the bitey kind, the one that you don't want to transform into.
Not a thing.
I can't believe I'm actually impressed by this idea. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but if it works, it works.
Yeah. It's got to do with the smoke. It needs to be the right amount of smoky
Smokiness.
and savory.
Fascinating. What do we do about our naked mans?
Well, he attacked
Blanket.
someone.
Give him
Oh
a
yeah, that
blanket.
too.
Yeah.
Ryan grabs a blanket out of his car.
I don't know, Ray, can you, arrest him?
Throws the man's clothes at him.
No, we do have a holding facility, but if it was the item, if you want me to get them involved, I can. I don't know if he's going to need the holding facility at this point, but if you like, I can call it in.
I mean, true, if he doesn't have the amulet, he can't really do it. I mean...
Yeah,
So
but
kinda
he
look
did still attack
Yeah.
someone.
He did still attack someone. I think it would be kind of... It'd be kind of, the fact that he caused harm to someone to be like, now don't you do it again, just seems a little, light.
I feel, yeah, I think that I can call it in. They can contact the approach. Usually, I think it's isn't it? And he sort of will glance over more in James's direction, sort of asking, is this? Isn't it usually like I think usually things like this get referred to like the council or something similar.
Oh wait, do I look like a wizard?
I don't. Well,
What does
I
a
don't know. I
wizard
thought
look
perhaps
like?
you might. I don't know. I thought perhaps you might have heard.
I make
But,
food. I mean, I don't think the council's interested in whatever it is I make.
He's a taxi driver and a chef.
Not really a chef. I mean, you guys
A
have
spell
tasted
chef.
my...
A potion chef.
I do. Yeah.
A magic chef.
He also has some control of the elements because you came and stole my thunder.
Jeez.
God damn!
Well, I'm sorry if the Almighty.
Well,
thought
you
it
should
would
be sorry.
appropriate for me to steal
Thank
a
you for
Zamboni.
apologizing.
Oh my god.
Damn. You heard that, big guy?
She was doing. She was doing something very impressive when you rolled up. I do have to say.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean that Zamboni was at well, I wouldn't say breakneck speed, but
I don't think I've ever seen a Zamboni move that fast.
yeah, it was like a light jog.
It was pretty much that. Like, I'm really picturing just it takes forever for James to arrive and just boop.
I mean the fact that like James had to take some time to throw paint on it too. So
Yeah, but that's the beauty of like the guide my hand thing is James theoretically arrived like 20 minutes ago. And it's like, yeah, God told him, you need to paint that Zamboni, get your ass over there. And he's like, yeah, sure, makes sense.
Spoiler alert, the paint did nothing.
Of course.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Why would it?
Incredible.
It's metallic colored spray paint. It does nothing. Also, this is not the kind of werewolf that needs silver to be defeated anyway.
Do I look like
Thankfully,
I
this
know
kind of
a
werewolf is
single
vulnerable to
thing?
a Zamboni.
No. Anyway, all you know is that it worked.
Yeah.
You trapped a werewolf. It's
Just
still
so you know, I'm going
Marceline.
ahead and
So yeah, typically this would be the sort of thing that the White Council deals with, but y'all have been flying under the radar so far.
like, if I call this in, is Mo not going to refer it to the White Council, or
I
is
mean,
this something that we
they
actually are
probably
going to
have
send someone out?
connections.
Do I have you know who I'm thinking of, Alyssa? I have a person that may have connections.
You do.
I do have a person.
You
I know
could-
this is unplanned, but I do have a person.
You do have a person. You could talk to her.
Okay, I guess it's time to call Chanda up.
Okay.
Did not expect to call her tonight. This is not the plan.
Yes, child.
Yep.
What is going on?
If I had a werewolf, can you put me in touch with the people that can deal with the werewolf man who hurt a person? He can't wolf out anymore, but he hurt a person and he needs to be held accountable for that, you know?
Yes.
I don't know how this works, Ma. Like, do you text me the thing? Like, do I call them? Do I need to make smoke signals at the moon? Like, I don't know how this works, Chanda. You know more than me.
If there's anything you wanted to learn from him, ask your questions now. Someone will be there in an hour.
Okay, thank you. And I guess she'll kind of hang up and tell the group that someone is on their way to pick up the wolf, and that we have an hour to ask any further questions.
Okay. So, we will assume that the man has his clothes back on and has been restrained. Is there anything you would like to ask before he is collected?
Why did you attack someone? I mean, like, I think I get it, but I also want to hear him say it, you know?
Okay. Why don't you roll? Would you like to roll presence to see if you can get him to tell you what you want to know?
Sure. I don't even know if I have that. Let's see.
You can roll mediocre, or if there's a different skill that you would rather use.
I have conviction, alertness. I don't know if any of those count. Report.
Rapport? I take rapport.
Okay. Well, it's a 0.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like he's in a chatty mood because he tells you this story all about how he is pissed off about that promotion, and the person responsible for not giving him that promotion was Mr. Erickson Petersburg. So he thought if he caused some trouble, that Mr. Petersburg's dog might get blamed. And then he could, stick it to the man. And it also didn't hurt if he, fouled up Bjorn's movie plans, because he still hates Bjorn and the former St. Paul Pack. And if Bjorn and the old hockey rivals are friends now, then he hates them even more.
And he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for us meddling kids.
Yep.
Got it.
He has just been holding on to this amulet, waiting for the opportune moment to get back at everybody. Because he's ranting about how he knows that Coach and Mrs. Kopecky did something to give their team an edge. And so he found someone who could give him an edge.
Cursed amulet like that.
He says he got the amulet from some guy named Adrian Belmont.
Of course.
Is there any pie that Belmont doesn't have his fingers in?
Nope. Undead fingers, and they're everywhere.
Wait a minute. How
What
were you
kind of
able to get in contact with Belmont in order to buy this thing?
Yeah, how did you...
Not hard. I just snooped around some of Mrs. Kopecky's old friends from her book club.
What do you mean, book club?
It wasn't really just a book club.
What? So you're saying what, Mrs. Kopecky and her coven of witches, and you went snooping around there or some shit?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I was joking. Okay. Mrs. Kopecky and her coven of witches, and you went snooping around, and what? You found Adrian Belmont by, like, what, knocking on the witch's door?
I asked around. Eventually, I found somebody who knew somebody who knew about real magic.
You asked some...
Are you still in contact with Adrian Belmont?
No. Why would I? I got what I needed.
How did you make contact with Belmont?
I got a number. I met a person. They made a delivery.
How long ago was that?
Months ago.
I mean, yeah, we were in the Never Never for a while, so it's been a while.
Yeah, but wasn't Adrian Belmont dead? Like years ago?
Well, Adrian Belmont was dead years ago, and then weren't we chasing Adrian Belmont, and didn't I stake someone who was also Adrian Belmont?
Well, he was using his brother's name. His brother was Adrian Belmont, and he was using his name because his brother was murdered or something. I don't remember. It doesn't really interest me.
Um, Chad, did you see Adrian Belmont?
I mean, I saw a person.
Okay, what did they look like? And does he give us the description of like fake Belmont?
Um, he describes a guy with dark hair and brown eyes. It kind of look vaguely could sound like fake Belmont or any other generic white dude.
Hmm.
When he's referring to Mrs. Kopecky, is that Chandler Kopecky that he's?
Chandler Kopecky's mother, yes.
Chandler Kopecky's mother. That's right.
Coach Kopecky's wife.
Yeah, it seems like the Kopecky have a lot of magic going on about in their family.
Yeah, it would seem so fair, yeah.
Which
That's
we're
and
looking
to run
at.
his family.
Transformation.
I'm joking.
Is what was the work you were doing, if I may just ask a brief tangent here, for Mr. Petersburg?
A factory job.
Hmm. He owns a factory then?
Yeah, he owns it like a big lumber company.
And so you didn't, was there any point with Mr. Petersburg that you were engaging in anything or talking about anything of the arcane or supernatural nature?
No.
Hmm.
He just gave the job to somebody else.
Interesting.
Listen, I put in my time. I deserve that promotion.
Hmm. But why take it out on poor Miss Chan Hansen? What did she do to you?
She was just there. People feel more sympathetic toward her and more angry about the dog. If they had a, pretty victim.
You didn't really have any plan per se. You just wanted to hurt the first person you saw and blame the dog.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, I can almost hear myself.
How was I supposed to know Bjorn had magical backup?
Well, considering you thought the coach had magical backup, you should have used your brain.
Bjorn wasn't on that team.
Oh. No?
But I
Oh,
saw
right. Rival team.
the coach.
Rival team. God.
I saw
okay.
the coach
I met a lot of hockey
doing
people
his
today.
rituals before the games.
And you had a crush on his daughter.
Those guys were like freaking berserkers.
Huh.
Oh, really?
So you thought
Just in terms of, I was just in terms of aggression, or did they actually do the the berserking thing.
You weren't there, man. You should have seen it.
Sort of sits back. He's going to make a quick note.
I mean, at this point, yeah, sure, things were unfair back then, but it doesn't warrant you keeping that chip on your shoulder for however many years and then trying to maim someone unrelated over it. It's just hockey. And it wasn't even the major leagues. Who cares?
Don't you ever think about how different your life could have been if you could just change one thing?
Yeah, all the time. And that's why you go to therapy.
Truth?
Yeah, whatever.
Or just smoke weed.
Or that.
I'm fairly certain we could name 500 things that would be better than maim a stranger.
Like she isn't gonna recover.
That's not the point, dude. That's not the point.
Whatever, I don't have to defend myself to you. Are you the cops?
Sort of. He is. And I point to Raymond.
No.
No,
No. I'm not. I am not a cop.
No. And at that, Chow is just going to punch this guy in the face.
Yeah!
Hey.
He's a dick.
So you punched this guy out, and I think that's a good time to fade to black. So yeah. So we've unearthed a lot of major plot points here. So I think we're actually going to take a major milestone tonight.
Ooh.
Ooh. And once
So we
again,
have
I
all
don't
kinds of
remember what it
interesting
does.
things to look into next week.
You had a point of refresh? Is that the major milestone?
Yeah, but this is where we jump up a power level. First level up of the campaign.
Woohoo!
That's not a good thing. That means that
I
everything
guess it'll
else is
hurt you
also
more.
going to love it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Crap!
Okay, but we get to do more cool things. It'll be great. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. It'll be cool. It'll be fine. Totally fine. Nothing will happen. Right?
Yeah.
Everything's
I
fine.
can. We
I
can
mean, if
finally
you
have more
keep
than
rolling
one.
like this and I keep rolling like that. Yeah. Coach Kopecki might be a berserker. Chandler's mom is a witch. Adrian
Chandler's a
Belmont might
goose.
still be a lot undead.
I'm starting
Yeah.
to wonder though about Chandler, the goose, but because
Yeah.
if mom's a witch, what's to say that Chandler daughter, which I'm trying to remember the her first name.
Is Chandler.
Chandler is her first name.
Oh, Chandler is the first name. Yeah.
Chandler
So
Kopecki.
Yes.
if Mama
Weregoose.
Kopecki is a witch, was Chandler born as a shapeshifter? Or
Maybe.
did mom do something to her daughter?
Who
Was it
knows?
mom though? Because they said, wasn't it dad who he said
can
was doing
also.
something to the team to give them an edge?
Which Berserker and Goose? There's a
Yeah, he kind of pointed fingers at the both of them together as a power couple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or maybe I don't know how much whether or not my character knows about the connection between berserkers and, in spoilers for people who have read the books, lycanthropes. But is that something we'd be aware of?
It might be. Do you want to make a scholarship roll or
Ooh,
lore?
I have nothing.
I'll take lore.
I'll make a mediocre roll, sure.
Don't you get a bonus with this kind of knowledge, though? You know, you work
I mean,
for.
you do have connections.
You do have connections.
I have connections and I don't know if being from Norway helps.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
I mean, didn't your boss like create berserkers, or at least was partially responsible for their
I think
development?
quite a number of them worshipped him, if nothing else. But I'm just gonna make my mediocre roll and we'll see what happens. I got a 1.
Average. I'm for this purposes, and since everyone's been kind of like looking into werewolfy lycanthrope stuff, I'm gonna say, yeah, you, given your background, yes, you are probably at least moderately aware of the connection.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just basically that's why he made that little note. Eventually, because that was the thing. It was a definite thing.
So yeah.
And it was sort of he'll fill folks in on what he knows, and the rest of the group in on what he knows, which is probably not a lot, but it could be. Some of the berserkers were in fact lycanthropes, which are a different type of, not exactly a werewolf.
Yeah, and just to wrap up the loose end of the unconscious dude, eventually, some people pull up. There is a tall, dark-haired woman in a leather jacket with a gray hood, whom you might recognize from the zombie pub crawl that you attended a while back. And then she's got a couple other people with her that you haven't necessarily seen before. And they take him away. And well, depending on how many of you are still there hanging around when they do pick him up, they may have some questions for you later. But it depends how busy they are cleaning up other shenanigans.
I mean, for the first time since we started playing, I'm at the mercy of someone else with a car.
Oh, I tried to fix your car for you, but oh well.
It's okay. You leveled up. Maybe you can fix it now.
One refresh level, a car.
One refresh level. For the ever repairing car.
Take it as an item.
I could. Well, thank you, everyone. We went over tonight, but I think I didn't even see the time go by. Thank you so much for coming, players. Thank you so much to all of you who hung out in chat. Thank you to our sponsors, to our affiliates. Thank you, players. Thank you, Alyssa, for taking time off of your Friday nights to play Silly Dresden File. And let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, if you have anything going on. Now's the time to plug everything. We'll do the same order as we did the intros, I think. We'll start with Marceline.
Alrighty. I am Marceline, aka Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art and everywhere else at Hanimation Studios. And you can find me back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST. Yeah. Yes. For the return of Scion, Birth of the New Gods. Anita will also be playing with me. It is very exciting. And then back here again on Thursday for Sentinels of the Multiverse. Also very cool. Very much looking forward to those things. Thank you, Simon.
Very welcome. Thank you for coming. Anino, where can we find you? Sorry, I should have said Chow, because I'm supposed to use character names.
Hey everyone, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Yeah, in addition to those games, we probably have Invisible Sun coming up at some point. I don't know. Ask Jim. He would know more because it's his show. And yeah, I got nothing else.
Alyssa, no character name because there's too many to name.
Too many.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on the internet at Shawl Tales, and you can find me here on Fridays. This is the only streamed game I have going on, but on my Twitter, I post artwork and stories and stuff in between things. So you find me there to see what else I've got going on.
And then we move to Raymond.
Hello. I have been Raymond this evening. I'm Jim Ryan. I am a writer, streamer, and podcaster. I am Otherdoc, OTHERDOC, on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, which has links to all my various things. And I have been there's been a little bit of a break for the end of the year for me on my channel. I've done a little bit. We just did a short campaign. And I've just started playing video games on there again, but very soon we're going to be starting Invisible Sun back up within the next couple of weeks, should be. I'm just finally cementing the last, there's going to be a development session of it soon, I think this coming week. And then within the next week and a half or so after that, we're going to be doing, should be back to our Saturday night games of Invisible Sun, The Edge of Paradox, a game that I run. And it is an utter delight. Nanino is in it, and other wonderful role players are in it. Very surreal game, surreal fantasy. Also, shortly I should be opening signups for a game that I'm going to run, a short campaign I'm going to be running using 3 different systems smashed together for a sort of a space noir game. Basically, it's going to be a detective story set on a distant colony in space. I'm using Durance to figure out the information about the location. We'll be using the frame of Dirty Secrets, the game Dirty Secrets, to play. So that's going to be basically one investigator and a bunch of authorities, essentially, a bunch of GM types, basically. And then I've tweaked it using rules I've borrowed from In a Wicked Age. So we're gonna see how that goes to try to make it a lot easier to do the conflict, because conflict in Dirty Secrets usually uses liar's dice, which is very, very difficult to do over Roll20. And so we're gonna be taking a stab at that very soon. I'm gonna probably announce signups soon for that, as soon as I can figure out what the hell I'm doing. But we will be so look for that soon. That'll be probably on my Twitter whenever that happens. But aside from that, I am here on Friday nights, and it is wonderful to be back again playing. I love this game so much and these players. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And Maya.
Hello, I am Leona. I have been playing Maya, our millennial side hustling cartomancer weirdo. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. That is the best place to find me, follow me, keep up with what on earth I'm up to. Streams, podcasts, all of that kind of stuff. Plus, intersectionality consulting, helping you out with your projects, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. I love being here. I can't think of where I might be found next, so I don't have anything further to plug. It's just fun.
Well, thank you all for coming. I'm Simon at wandering_DM on Twitter, Wandering Soch on SOC on Twitch. This is the Wandering Society. You can check out all of our shows. We are on Tuesdays, playing tomorrow on Revelation 3, which is a sci-fi cyberpunkish, I should say something more like hope punk, in a hyper ultra capitalist space station. Then we have Sentinels of the Multiverse on Thursday, coming back next week. Scion tomorrow. Prison Files, Spare Change, right here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can check all of our shows on YouTube or on Twitch. We still have VODs. The links are all in our Twitter bio, twitter.com/Wandering Society. On that note, thanks everyone again for coming tonight, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
When the sun starts growing colder and the dark starts getting bold, you don't know what the cards are holding and you think you ought to fold. I got faith to spare, changes in the air. Embrace it if you dare, transform your destiny. You've been down on your luck, oh, but I'm not giving up. Sometimes just enough is all you need. When the sky flashes a warning of the struggles to be born, you gotta hold out till the morning, so you turn to face the storm. Let the shadows fall, let the sirens call. Troubles roll away into my soul gaze. I won't look away, I'm listening. I got faith to spare, changes in the air. Embrace it if you dare, transform your destiny. You've been down on your luck, but I'm not giving up. Sometimes just enough is all you need. Sometimes just enough is